WIU football pregame show. I'm your host, Brendan Reidy, alongside my partners Tommy Cook and Mackenzie Yearby. We got a great one here as Western Illinois is set to take on the legendary program of Youngstown State. And it's homecoming week, and we'll get to that later. Lots to talk about, obviously, with you, Mackenzie. But tons of storylines this week involving Western Illinois football, and it all starts with Justin Fitzpatrick. Thanks, Dylan. While Western Illinois may not be playing soccer this fall, one of their former players has a very special opportunity. After a stellar career on the pitch for WIU women's soccer team, former Leatherneck Inez Palermo Herrera is heading to Switzerland to play professionally. Palermo Herrera recently signed a contract with FF Lugano 1976 of the Swiss Women's Super League, the top women's league in Switzerland. A 2020 graduate, Palermo Herrera rewrote the record books in her 4 years on campus. The Spain native finished third all-time in saves, fifth in wins and shutouts, and eighth in saves per game. She also earned Summer League Player of the Week and Defensive Player of the Week honors during her career.
Very cool for Inez. But up next, we get an inside look with Leatherneck football coach Jared Elliott. We'll be right back after this.
364. That's how many days it's been since Western Illinois' last victory. However, that would all change as they took the field this Saturday against South Dakota. In a game that featured two high-tempo offenses, Western Illinois was able to come out on top behind two touchdowns from running back Clint Rakovich and a game-sealing interception from Eric Carrera. And for Carrera, this victory has a little bit more meaning.
It's crazy. Coach Nielsen was my first coach here when I was 5 years ago when I was a freshman. And to get the first win of the season against him, man, I can't even describe it. It's huge. And I don't think
the Leathernecks will look to build off this victory as they travel to Fargo, North Dakota next week to take on the number 1 ranked team in the country, North Dakota State. For Leatherneck Insider, I'm Brendan. We're at Brawley Stadium as North Alabama looks to take on Western Illinois. While we're here, we're going to go ask a few Lions fans what they think the word Leatherneck means. So I got to ask you, Western Illinois is in town. They're called the Leathernecks. What does that mean?
I have no idea what that means.
Leatherneck?
Yeah, Leatherneck.
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Weatherneck?
Leatherneck.
Oh, Leatherneck? Leatherneck. Isn't it like...
I have no idea. I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's what you think a Leatherneck is?
Yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
No, we're a bunch of redneck football fans.
Leather on your neck.
Leathernecks. I'm guessing a dog that wears a collar that's leather. Is it like a bulldog or something?
Some old dude that worked on an oil well that's neck was leathery.
Well, a Leatherneck is actually a United States Marine, and we are so proud that we are the only school that is able to claim that as our mascot, and we do everything we can to promote that in what we do. And we love Rocky, we love the U.S. Marines, and we love the Leathernecks. Right? Go Leathernecks! Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny. The IHSA has put high school sports on hold, at least until 2021. This announcement comes after the state's decision to move to Tier 3 of the COVID-19 mitigation starting Friday, which restricts youth sports from being played. The Illinois high school basketball season was supposed to tip off later this month. The IHSA board will meet next Thursday night to make plans on how sports can be played after restrictions are lifted. NFL draft inches closer. The Western Illinois football team had the chance to dazzle NFL scouts with their talent. The NFL hopefuls participated in various drills that displayed their athleticism. In total, the Leathernecks had 12 players participate in the Pro Day and are zoned in to make their NFL dreams come true. Quarterback Sean McGuire had this to say about his training regimen in the pre-draft process.
The training itself is just different than what we're all used to because we've kind of been like just track athletes now for 3 months. Everything you're doing is gauged towards a 40-yard dash or jumping a vertical. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't like it that much because I'm not fast, but it's interesting. It's a different type of training. Again, I think now that it's done, we all learned a lot from it. But I mean, I was just very happy to get back here today.
These guys left it all on the field during their time at Western Illinois, and we wish them nothing but the best in the NFL draft process. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you, Devin. Some club teams on campus are facing similar challenges this school year. The WIU Bowling Club typically travels Midwest to compete in tournaments, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, they had to cancel their fall schedule. The team is still waiting to hear from the university if they'll have funding to travel in the spring. In the meantime, the 9 members meet every week at Diggers College City Bowl to try and stay sharp on the lanes.
We do bowl on a league every week, so we're at least getting some bowling in. we practice every Monday through Wednesday. Some of us may show up, some of us may not. That's the best we can do right now. We just hope that we can get going to some tournaments again in the spring.
Welcome back to Macomb, Illinois at Hanson Field, where Brady Davis gets ready to lead the Illinois State Redbirds back onto the field. Hands off to Proctor. Proctor finding the edge and cutting upfield. Finally brought down on the play by Malik Burns, running all the way from the defensive line upfield to make the play.
Yeah, and that is the biggest rush for the game for the Redbirds, as I think, trying to give Brady Davis a little bit more room. They found quick success, with those delay handoffs and play action. I think they're trying to get back to that after Davis, had some issues after throwing that pick.
Brady Davis 3 for 6 on the day today. Missed a big shot downfield to his receiver, and he gets a free play looking downfield, unable to find his receiver. Isaiah Royer in on the coverage for the Leathernecks. But I think Malik Burns may have jumped a little too fast.
Offside. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Malik Burns did indeed jump off sides, warranted the free play there. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line.
Yeah, good awareness from Davis, realizing that, just to heave it downfield. Might as well just, never know what can happen, especially when you get a free play.
1st and 5 off the penalty. I formation for the Redbirds, one split out wide to the left. They'll give it to Proctor. Proctor trying to find an opening, and he does. And they'll be right at the sticks, and they'll move them for a first down for the Redbirds.
Yeah, good job from Watts there on the edge, not letting him go upfield. Controlled the edge well, forced him to run horizontally.
Marching back into Leatherneck territory. Brady Davis trying to punch in another score before the half. Tella in motion in the backfield. They'll give it to Proctor. Proctor trying to find the outside edge, cuts back in, and he's been the workhorse today, and it hasn't been Robinson, which is awfully surprising.
Yeah, at the same time, Western game plan for Robinson quite a bit, and sometimes when you're game planning so heavily for one person and they put somebody else in the lineup, you can find success.
Jeff Proctor, the junior from Munster, Indiana, the shifty back and quick back, getting lots of action in the first half today. Austin Nagel in motion for Illinois State. They'll give it to Proctor again, trying to hit the hole hard. Brought down right at the sticks, and they'll move them again.
Yeah, Redbirds right now kind of on a roll, moving in towards enemy territory, deeper into Western's zone, all using the ground game. Tough running, tough football up front for the Redbirds.
1st and 10 from the 33. Robinson back into the ball game for Illinois State. Davis under center. We'll give it to Robinson. Robinson plowing over Isaiah Royer to pick up about 5 on the opening handoff.
And that's what you get out of your top senior back, when you just put your head down, tough running, 5 yards on first down. It's a huge play. It opens up so much, especially when you get further down in enemy territory. You need to set up your offense in a way to score successfully. You've opened up play action, jet sweeps at this point, and Illinois State's rolling.
2nd and 6.
Unbalanced.
Tella in motion to the left, unbalanced line. They'll give it to Robinson. Robinson brought down in the backfield by Rayfield.
The captain for Western is having a great game, getting in the backfield on that time to negate that first down success that Robinson found as he heads back to the sideline.
Defensive battles so far today. You got to give credit to both defensive lines playing terrific football so far.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been a battle up front, which we kind of knew it would be. It's Missouri Valley football. You know, it's very stereotypical. It's hard fought, nose down. It's all about defense in that run game.
3rd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Davis in the gun, finding his receiver this time. Kasper Rukevich on the reception, moving the chains, and a big first down for Illinois State.
And a small target came up big there. That man's got some hops.
They'll march inside the red zone now, mark him down at the 19-yard line. 1st and 10, Redbirds. Let's take another look. Plenty of time in the pocket for the most part. Fires one a little high, no problem for Kasper Rukevich going up on Marquis Smith and making a play.
Yeah, taking that one-on-one coverage on the outside. That was Davis's favorite play.
Trips left. They'll give it to Robinson. Robinson swallowed up by a combination of LaCal London and Thomas Rayfield.
Yeah, man, London, you know, getting off of his block there with a great move to stop Robinson from getting any further.
2nd and 8 for Illinois State as Robinson runs off the field kind of slow.
Coach Elliott was not happy with where that spot was.
And there'll be a timeout taken by Coach Elliott. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. So first and foremost, how are you enjoying the Macomb community?
It's been a lot of fun, really. I've had a chance to kind of get out and about. There's a few places here in town where you get a chance to kind of mingle with everybody, even through the COVID. And I live on probably one of the prettiest parts of town, near the golf course there. I'm really enjoying it. The people here are great.
And what was most appealing about taking the job at Western Illinois?
For me, it's like coming home. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I had a chance to coach my son, which was another big factor on why now. But when I came to visit and I had a chance to really dive into Western Illinois, it reminded me a lot of Platteville, where I played basketball and where I was fortunate enough to meet my mentor, Coach Bo Ryan, on the basketball side, and where we had a lot of success at Platteville. It reminded me a lot of that, and it kind of felt home to me.
And you talk about you're from the south side of Chicago, so am I. And something coaches in the past at Western have struggled with is recruiting inner city Chicago kids, athletes, to come to Western and play basketball. You had a strong start already with your first recruiting class. What's been your secret?
You have to get the right people on board. I think the hire of Coach Nick Irvin really accelerated that. Obviously, I have strong relationships in Chicago too, but you need that guy that's in the trenches more than the head coach that's right there with everyone. And Nick has been in that community for a long time, very successful. And kids love him. Kids love him in Chicago, which makes it easier to help attract kids here at Western.
And you have a long track record of coaching, plenty of coaching stops. With all your new jobs you've taken over the years, what's the best advice you've gotten when you start a new job?
Keep things simple, I think. Make sure the guys know that you care about them. It's really easy to start a new program and be so negative because you're trying to establish your standards, right? You're trying to get your culture established. And to do that, you're changing a lot of habits. You know, some of them are bad. Some of them just don't fit. So you have more of a tendency, you're always stopping practice. You're always correcting. You're always, making sure guys are in the right place. And that has a tendency to be more negative than positive. So I think the best advice I got was, make sure that, you love your guys up, make sure they know that you care about them, and keep things simple.
And for you taking the job here, it doesn't get any easier. We're in the middle of a pandemic, as you know, and with a brand new team, brand new coaching staff, how hard was it to put that all together during COVID-19?
Luckily for me, that because I have experience being a head coach and I had relationships, it was one of those where we're just trying to figure out as a team. I mean, I always had Coach Boudreau. We always knew that we had hoped that we'd have this opportunity. So we were always planning. So we were planning even before we had a job. So that helped. And also helped with recruiting. And I think the fact that Coach Boudreau and Coach Heikkinen were both in junior college, now we have some older players that we can go right after because they had strong relationships with their players. And then the other strategic part with this was making sure you added another assistant that had strong high school relationships in the area that you really wanted to recruit from, which was Chicago and Coach Nick. So when you put that together, that allows you to kind of hit the ground running, have players ready to go, and get your program started.
You talk about mixing old players, veteran players with the new players you're bringing in from high school. What are you most excited for with this new team?
I'm excited, really, I'm excited to have a chance to get the community back fired up about basketball. I mean, it's a sport that we all love, meaning myself, my staff, players, we love the game. And I know the people here in town love basketball. The tradition of basketball in this area is very strong. And it's exciting to see people fired up about basketball again. I think that's a great start. Now, we have to take that and put together a product on the floor that's going to be to keep the excitement. And I know we can do that. As long as our guys are playing hard, really aggressive, and just really caring about each other, I think we can put a product on the floor that would be exciting to watch. Now, will we win a lot of games? I don't know to start the year, but at least we can have some excitement. And I think that's always a good place to start.
And I know the schedule's still in the works, the Summit League, but they released their preseason polls. I'm sure you've seen them. Western Illinois dead last at number 9. What was your initial reaction to that, and how do you plan to use that as motivation?
That's where we were. We were the worst team in the league, but that's not where we want to stay. So because of that gives us a lot of motivation. Like, okay, this is how we are viewed amongst our peers in the league as being the worst team in the league. So that means, we have a lot to do. And I know our guys are up to the challenge. The staff is fired up about the challenge. And it's just a difficult time right now with COVID. It's just a very unique time for us building a program. If you have a program already established, you can get your guys, just kind of get them ready to go. We're still trying to make sure we lay a foundation for success and then get a culture started and teach them how we want to play. So we just have to make sure we stay the process, stay the course, and set up those things properly so we have long-term success.
And Western Illinois has struggled last 5 years against the top dogs in the Summit, South Dakota State, North Dakota State. How do you plan to flip the script and become one of those top teams in the league?
Program of success, and all they do is keep plugging in guys to fit that formula. We have to try to do the same thing. So we have standards on how we want to play. We have a style on how we want to play. Now we have to make sure that we recruit to that style, and then just keep guys here for 4 years. We can't have a lot of guys transferring in and out. So we can get a 4 years established of players. Now they're teaching the younger players. And I think that's what you're seeing more in this league. This league is very mature. A lot of guys that have been around for 4 years, and when they become that junior and senior, they're very difficult to handle. So we have to get a lot like them.
And you're known for your aggressive style defense. How often can we expect the Leathernecks to bring out the full court press?
Well, it's all about bodies now. We have to make sure we have the bodies to do that. And this year is going to be, we'll see. Maybe we'll have a few games there. We have a full roster of players and we can extend the pressure a little bit.
And you've been to the NCAA tournament before. You've got a win there too. Western is looking to get their first bid. How do you plan on ending the drought?
You really have to just take care of your league, right? You have to, first of all, take care of every day. Make sure every day you're preparing to be the best player you can be, best team you can be, and then everything else seems to fall into place. You have to catch a few breaks. That's with any team, but you catch those breaks by being tough. So we have to make sure that we're developing a tough team so that when adversity hits, we can fight through it, come out on the other side, and then bring a championship to Macomb.
Thanks, Coach, so much for your time. I know I'm excited. Everyone else in Macomb is excited as well. We wish you the best of luck, and thanks for your time today.
All right, appreciate it.
Have a good one, Coach.
Thanks.